Hi everyone, so today I'll talk about circular motion. As the name suggests, circular motion deals with motions on a circle. Suppose, for example, there is a car that goes from A to B and then goes to C and then goes to D, and basically, it goes on the circle. If you recall, I said direction of motion is essentially the direction for velocity vector. So here, if I go on a circle and just move on a circle, if I go this way, the direction of my motion tells me the direction for velocity vector. Do you see that? These are all velocity vectors at any point that you like on the circle. Now, if you recall, I said acceleration is change in velocity over time. I also said velocity is a vector quantity. Vector means it has both magnitude, some size, and some direction. Here, as you can see, I may probably have my car set on, have it on cruise set at 40 miles an hour and still go on the circle. So I may probably have my magnitude set at some number. However, as you can see here, my velocity vector is always changing, as you can see. Whenever I have change in velocity over some time, so because I'm, moving, it takes me maybe 5 seconds to move in the circle. Whenever I have change in velocity, whatever it is, either magnitude or direction, they are both as important for a vector quantity. Then change in velocity gives me acceleration. Here, change in velocity is essentially change in the direction of velocity. Therefore, it still gives rise to some sort of acceleration. Acceleration for a circular motion is called centripetal acceleration. Okay, centripetal acceleration is the acceleration of a body that moves in a circle. Now, can you please recall the fact that I said force is mass times acceleration? Therefore, whenever you have some sort of an acceleration, you gotta have some sort of a force going on somewhere. The force that's directly related to the centripetal acceleration is called centripetal force. So it's pretty easy. If you take a look at the whole picture, it's very logical. Basically, direction of motion gives you direction for velocity vectors. So these are all direction for velocity vectors, as you can see. Now you see that velocity, because it's a vector, now the direction of the vector is changing rather than its magnitude. Change in velocity, whatever regards it is, even if its magnitude or its direction, doesn't matter. As long as the velocity vector changes over some time, we get acceleration. Because we see that the velocity vector is changing over time here on the circle, we have change in velocity over time. Therefore, we have acceleration. Acceleration for a circular motion is called centripetal acceleration. This means that it's always inward towards the center. So centripetal acceleration means acceleration that draws things towards the center. I also said whenever we have acceleration, we gotta have some force. No acceleration, no net force. Non-zero acceleration, you gotta be having some force going on. The force that's related to the centripetal acceleration is called centripetal force. And I always told you direction for acceleration and direction for force are both the same direction. They are essentially same arrow, right? So direction, if acceleration is inward for centripetal acceleration, definitely centripetal force is inward too, towards the center loving, if you like. It draws the thing towards the center. And physically, you know why I'm saying this. See, if I have a chain or something to just rotate it like in a circle, you see if I break the chain, or if the chain breaks for some reason, the key flies off of the chain. So you understand that the acceleration and the force that keeps the force that keeps the chain in the circle is definitely inwards, because once you cut it off, it just flies away from the circle. It's not going to be kept in the circle anymore. So centripetal acceleration, centripetal force are all towards the center forces. Now, well, I told you about basically I defined how circular motion works, but let's see what these are. Like, how do we calculate these things and stuff like that? So if you want to calculate centripetal acceleration is, we always have this index of c little c for it, just to notify it's is for circular motion. This is v squared over r. R is the radius of the circle that the object is circling, like basically is going around. This is velocity of the object. So if I go 5 times around the circle in 2 seconds, I have a separate velocity compared to the case if I just go once in 20 seconds. So velocity of the object is how fast the object is going around the circle. Now you have to remember you have to square it and then divide it by the radius. As for the centripetal force, I always told you F equals m times acceleration. What is centripetal acceleration? V squared over radius. Okay? So this is centripetal acceleration, this is centripetal force. Let's now do, one thing I want to make sure all of you understand, that this centripetal force is not a separate, it's not a different force or anything. It depends on the situation. If I have a chain, if I'm attaching an object to a rope and I'm rotating it around, then the tension of the rope plays the role of centripetal force. Centripetal force is not a separate force. Okay? If, let's say, different situations, if you draw the free body diagram, you see the force that's going inward in the circle, that's basically the centripetal force.